Like I said, I was the purchasing agent in Wallingford for many years, there for 30 years. Um, we were all about trying to keep costs low, and making sure that the policies that they set forth were obeyed or followed. You know, one of the things I'm very proud of is that we've never had a scandal in Wallingford. You know, there was never any type of collusion, price fixing, anything that you read about in places like Bridgeport and Waterbury and things like that. You know, and they have, I think they're up to about a $225 million budget, so it's substantial. Wallingford is a very well-run town, and the previous mayor there was a stickler for the rules. Also, he cared very greatly that the rules that were set in place by the town council were followed. And I want to see the same thing in Bethany. I want to make sure the board of selectmen, not just me, but the whole board, sets the policies and the rules for the town, and I want to make sure that they're being followed. And that's very important to me. The other thing that I'd like to see copied from Wallingford is the procedures and the policies in Wallingford were very well defined, and I want to see that same thing in Bethany, which we don't have at the moment. We're trying to get that done. We're working towards that. Like when you want to hire somebody, the first person that should be contacted, other than making sure you've budgeted for it, or deals, is HR. I mean, nobody should be working at the town hall without the proper background checks, whatever else needs to be done, the proper paperwork being filed. You shouldn't even be able to start until that's done. And in Wallingford, it wasn't even an issue. It wasn't even a question. Of course, if you hired somebody, when HR said they can start, that's when you brought them on. It's as simple as that. Just those types of things. It's the level, the organization is what I want to see brought to Bethany. But Wallingford was very strict on its purchasing ordinance, and we were there to make sure that it was followed. Wallingford didn't really care. It was large enough that they didn't really care. They didn't have to worry about local vendors, and making sure that, they're part of the process, because they were, the projects they did, the contracts that we issued, they were all large enough where we got, bids from, as far as way as like Springfield, Mass, routinely, down to New Haven, Hartford, all over. People were coming to do work there. One, because we paid very well and paid quickly, but two, it was a fair and open process. So I don't want to see that. I want to see the bidding being taking place, but I don't want to cut out or hurt the local vendors at the same time. And I think that's a fine line to walk, and I think we can do it. I mean, the three bids we just opened up, two of them went to local vendors. And another one just went to a company in Orange, which is fairly local, but not Bethany. So, I mean, I think we can be successful in that.